When we're talking about a rectangular prism, we're talking about an object that has a length and it has a width and it has a height. When we're talking about trying to find the volume of a rectangular prism, we're going to need all three of these dimensions. Now, you might see the formula as volume equals length times width times height, or you may see it as big B times H. This second one confused my students. Almost every student I worked with, they did not get the concept of what is this thing. And it was confusing to me at first. But all big B is, it's the area of the base. Well, then that leads you to the question of, well, what is the base? What does this mean? So I'm going to explain that to you as we go. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to draw a new rectangular prism here. Let's just go ahead and do this right here and then here. I can't really talk too well and draw at the same time. Okay, so this is 3 units. You can see we'll call it the length, and we'll call this the width, and that's 2 units. Okay, and then just to make this 3 dimension, I'm just going to connect the corners of my my 2 rectangles. Okay, and you've done plenty of work where you've had something in 2 dimensions, such as this case. This is 2 dimensions here, and the area of this 2-dimensional object here is just 2 times 3, which gives you 6. Oops, need something darker there, right? So 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Right? So now we want to take this first equation and we want to figure out what is the volume of this object. And I'm going to put the height, this length here, I'm going to put that as 7 units. So I'm going to call that H, and that's 7 units. Okay, so let's get this first equation. Volume equals length times width times height. And I always write this out, and then I plug my numbers in right below it so I know exactly what I'm doing. So the length is 3, the width is 2, and the height is 7. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 7 is equal to 42. And I'm going to call this units cubed. Okay, each one of these is just units, and when I multiply them all together, I get units cubed, and that indicates that we're in 3 dimensions when we're talking about a rectangular prism. Okay, now let's use this other formula. The V is equal to the area of the base times the height. Now this is where it's really helpful to be able to draw a picture and see where these pieces are. So in this case, I'm going to choose my base, or I've actually already chosen the base as this 2 by 3 rectangle. This is my base here. Okay, and you may be asking, well, how is that the base? It's not on the ground, right? That's one of the confusing things about a base, is that it doesn't have to be on the ground. Okay, think about an ice cream cone, right? When we're talking about the base of a cone, we're talking about this circle here. Well, it's not on the ground, but it's still the base, and we have to be able to recognize that's where it is. So anyway, I'm getting off topic here. So because I'm calling this the base over here, on a rectangular prism you have a matching base here. Why is this important? This really helps for you to be able to see where the height is. The height is the distance between the bases. And in this case, we've already said that the height is 7 units. So now let's solve this volume problem. B is equal to the length times the width of the base. And that is going to be, length is 3, width is 2, and that is equal to 6 units squared. So I'm going to pop that into my volume equation, and now I'm going to multiply times the height, which is 7. And again, we get 42 units cubed. Okay? I'm going to do this very same problem, and I'm going to choose a different base. Okay? Just so you can understand, the base doesn't have to be on the sides. It doesn't have to be on the bottom. It really depends on the question that's being asked of you. And you're going to be given either, flat out, they're going to say this is the base, or they're going to give you an example where you can figure out where the base is. Okay? So let's do it where this is the base here, like you would kind of normally think about the base. Okay, so in this case, our base is going to be this 7 and this 2. So I'm going to write this again. Volume equals area of the base times the height. The base is equal to 7 times 2. And the height now is the distance between these two bases here, from here to here, and that distance is 3. Okay, so now 7 times 2, should put an equal sign there, is 14. So I put 14 in here, and then our height is 3. So now we got 3 times 14. So let's do, it should come out to 42. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 3 is 1, plus 1 is 4. That's 42. So now we get 42 units cubed. Okay, I'm going to go into more detail on this in other videos, but I sure hope this helps you, and I will see you in the next one.